Now, however simplistic this building looks on the outside, believe me, it is very intricate and detailed on the inside. There are multitudes of rafters that come out, kind of like an Indian-style teepee, okay, that support the roof. It's got 8 layers for the walls, and it's on the inside, it's lined with just some of the most beautiful hand-sewn tapestries you'll ever see. They dye their own threads, and all of that material comes from the goats and the sheep that they shear. And that's how they pretty much live here. Very, very simplistic.
You had lots of barriers to this film.
Yes.
Towards the end of the film, you have your Mongolian jacket and the hat, and you seem to have a lot more of the items that they have there in their villages. So you seem to have gathered a lot of gifts from them. And as soon as you got there, you started giving them gifts. So were you prepared for that, or was that kind of a surprise?
Well, actually, we went well prepared because I knew we were going to be putting them out quite a bit to be there for such a long time. And they're very hospitable. And they can't do enough for you, okay, constantly. And I wanted to make sure that we were prepared to give them gifts, to make them feel good, to make sure that they knew we appreciated everything they were doing. So I did go well prepared, even had items that sponsors had given us to introduce to them, like the telemetry and these kind of things. That was all very well planned. But there were items that we, wanted to have that we started looking around at these beautiful tapestries and stuff. So all of us kind of wanted to take one home, but we knew that we should probably offer them something, financial at that point. We should offer them money for those because these people hand sew these things from scratch. And but none of us had a whole lot of money on us. So we began to, we asked Bold, where can we get money? We want to offer them some money for these tapestries because, we all would like to have one. And well, that was a huge, huge undertaking for Bold. But Bold was one of those kind of guys that he can do anything.
Right.
Oh, you need money out here in the middle of the desert? We'll figure it out. Well, that afternoon, a motorcycle showed up. Okay, a motorcycle and some little vehicles, little green looking army trucks. It's okay. We're gonna take you to the bank. Oh, wow, we're going to go to a bank. Okay, so here we are trucking. We're about 3 hours in, I have no earthly idea where we're at. All of a sudden, I start seeing this it's like a tiny little village, and I'm starting to see writing now that does not look like Mongolian writing. Mm-hmm. This is Russian writing. I think at one point we crossed into Russian. I think we really did. There was a small little school there. There was a couple little stores, little merchants, and different things. And then, okay, here's the bank. We're looking over there, and this bank, I mean, my Hawks facilities are bigger than this bank, okay? But this was the bank. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. So we go in there, and we don't know how much money to ask for or how much it's going to cost. We know nothing. Yeah. So I'm like, Fernando, how much you got? And he's like, I got a couple $100. And he, Thomas, what you got? Oh, I think I've got 300. And I said, I got a couple hundred. And so we go and we lay like $700 or $800 down on the table. And we want to trade them for Mongolian Turks. And they start looking at each other, and oh my gosh, back and forth. And the translator, that's lots of money. I'm like, well, we don't know what they're going to ask us for. Yeah. We just would like to, we'll exchange it back later. Yeah. He goes, oh, the translator was very worried. Well, it took them about 20 minutes or so, and they come back, and they said, okay, and they open up this vault, and I swear to you, it looks like 2 Havana side-by-side refrigerator doors. That's how big it is with this spinny thing on it. They open it up, and they start doing the thing. They start inspecting the dollar bills and doing all this stuff, and they didn't know whether they can trust us. We didn't know whether we could trust them. But Bold said it was going to work. Bold gave us an okay. Ecken Bold says, hey, this is legit. We made the transfer. We walked out of there, oh my God, with so much cash that was in bags. We had no idea what we had just done, okay? Because we're in hiding it, and now we're probably in Russia, and we're leaving, and we're super scared because now we got sacks of money, and it had spread through that village so fast. There were eyes on us everywhere, okay? No. So, yeah, the whole trip back, we were looking over our shoulders constantly. That's when fear started to really set in that, you're in a really different part of the world here. And so we got back, and long story short, we went to sleep, got up the next morning, and that was going to be our final day before we left. We were going to do some additional trading with the community. Mm-hmm. So we were offering monies here and there, and offering some money for stuff, and the translators were trying to tell us, no, that's too high. No, they were trying to help us out. Yeah. So all of us got to go home with some really nice items, beautiful tapestries, lots of clothing and different things that we would never be able to buy here or find here. So they're really priceless to us. But after the trading was done, I started to hear this rumbling sound, okay? And I don't even know if we filmed any of this stuff or not either, but I started hearing this rumbling. The ground was shaking. I opened the front door, and I looked outside, and I counted 7 different funnel clouds made of sand, all spread out throughout the desert. And everybody starts panicking, and everybody else is speaking, and everybody's wrapping their faces and doing all this stuff, and we're just like, what's going on? Obviously, this happens there quite often. Right. We didn't know that. Yeah. We got hit one right after the other within 15, 20 minutes of these sandstorms. These big funnel clouds hit our gear, one right after the other, and you couldn't see the room for the dust that was in there. We're all covered up, and it was just a crazy experience. And then after, about 20 minutes, everything cleared up, sun was out, beautiful, and we're all just, trying to figure out what just happened. So that happened right before we left. So we said our goodbyes and started to head back. So
wow, yeah, that's amazing.
Well, not quite over yet. We get back it was a 3-hour truck drive into Bayanolgi. We got there. We decided to stay at a hotel. It was the best one in town. Didn't even have running water. It was electrical wires sticking out of the walls. But we stayed there that night and then eventually made it back to the capital. Regained everything, stayed there for about a week, and then we were able to fly back out. And Thomas and I flew together. Fernando and the other guys all went home separate directions, but Thomas and I were flying back to Indianapolis. So we did make it to Beijing, and once we got to Beijing, we were so tired, exhausted, and there's only one flight at Beijing the following morning that was going to get us back to the States. So it was very important not to miss the flight, right? So I told Thomas, what time are we leaving tomorrow morning? He says, at 8 o'clock. I said, well, set your alarm for 6. It's just a short walk down. Well, the alarm never went off. We're asleep in this restaurant, and we're rushing down because it's already 8 o'clock. And we're rushing. It was just a short walk down the elevator, and we get there and we put our tickets down, and a little Chinese lady looks at me and says, "So sorry, can't help you." The doors were closed, and I'm like begging her. I'm like all this way. I haven't seen my wife for 6 weeks. I'm just like this.
I have to get home.
No, this is not happening to us. And then there were language barriers because we no longer had translators, and it was a nightmare. And we had to purchase tickets, overnight tickets on the spot, not 2 days or 2 weeks in advance. Okay, we're talking thousands of dollars here to be able to alter our flight to South Korea, and South Korea to San Francisco. We get to San Francisco, all our schedules off. We no longer have a flight to Indianapolis, so we could stay the night in Chicago, or we can, we could just rent a car and drive.
Yeah.
We actually chose to rent a car. We were so tired and just wanted to get home. And I had all of these hard drives that I wanted nothing to happen to. I just wanted to get them safely to the studio, okay? And know that the mission was complete. We rented a car, drove all the way to Indianapolis. Yeah. So it was a massive process to get back home, probably another 3 days or better.
You had to keep a good eye on all your luggage because it had all of the information on it. All of the,
Oh no! All the electronics. I mean, all the hard drives that had our media on it were on my person,
Okay.
on my carry-on. Yeah, the whole time. Yeah, but I was still kind of scared because I had all of the, all my attire, the tapestries, all that stuff was in the suitcases. But yeah, that's kind of how we finally were able to get back and safely secure all of the footage.
Thank you so much for letting me come and ask you all these things. It was so fascinating. I loved it. The whole rest of the time falling on the ground there.
Right down the middle. And I'll cover the edge. There he goes. That's quick. He got it. Let's go.
No
Oh
way.
yeah. What do we have? 20-second hunt? Maybe if that.
That was crazy.
Perfect setup.
Perfect. It's a really grown rabbit. Is that kind of reddish?
Yeah. Kind of cool looking.
It's really cool looking.
She sees him.
Cool flight was that?